What's up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to review Tyler Perry's Ruthless, Season 4, Episode 5. So if you haven't seen the 5th episode of Season 4 of Tyler Perry's Ruthless, turn this video off right now and go watch the episode and come back and watch this video. Yeah, anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. These are my expressions and my thoughts. So yeah, it's how I feel. I'm also not a public speaker, so I will tend to stutter. You might hear me pause. Might hear me say and so like 1,000 times. I definitely will be looking over into my notes that I take throughout watching the show so I can make sure I'm on point with what I'm talking about. What else? Yeah, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's easy, it's quick, it's free. It's all the support that I need. And yeah, just do that for me right quick. I'm gonna give you a second to do that. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. Please and thank you. Cool beans. Thank you so much. I do have my water bottle right here that I will be drinking from as I'm talking. Oh my God. I'm not gonna lie, this water tastes so good. Whew. I had to get another swig. Let me just leave the top off because I know I'm going to be drinking the hell out of this. I'm about to leave the top off. But, yeah. What else? Whew, that water just got me. That definitely just woke me up. Yeah, last chance. If you haven't seen the 5th episode of Season 4 of Tyler Perry's Ruthless, turn this video off now because I'm about to spoil the entire episode. And I don't want to spoil it for someone who hasn't seen it. Okay, let's get into it. Did I forget to say anything? Oh yeah, I do like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews, and I'm gonna grade this episode a. What happened in this episode? I'm gonna give this episode an A- because we got to see a lot of the highest this episode. We don't really see a lot of him. It usually be everybody else and stuff, and when we see like him briefly. But he was doing a lot of little moving around this episode, talking to a lot of people. So I was like, okay, I give it an A-. And I felt like it was moving along a little bit this episode, so that's why I will also give it an A-. So we get to this first scene. Mind you, the last episode, they always continue on what happened at the end of the last episode. At the end of the last episode, the highest was giving his speech about letting the men marry. And Aaron's phone started ringing. And Highest was like, is that a phone? And then it went off like that. Oh, sorry, boy, it's so good. Whew. I might be drinking more than usual this review. Shoot. Anyway, so it resumes there in this first scene. The Highest he asked Aaron, you got a phone? Aaron says yes. The soldiers put all their guns on Aaron. And the Highest asking Aaron, like, why do you have a phone? And I was always wondering when Aaron first showed that phone, I was like, who was supposed to check them? I couldn't remember if they even got checked when they got there. Because I was like, I feel like they would have found that phone or found the money that he spoke of this episode that's supposed to be in his bag. That's why he was holding to the bag so much, because it had the phone in it and some money and a tent apparently. But we'll get into that. But so the Highest asks Aaron, why does he have a phone? Aaron says it's for emergencies. The Highest was like, did you call anybody from the phone? Aaron says no, it doesn't have any reception. So the Highest was like, all right, bring the phone to me. So he brings the phone. Aaron walking up to bring the phone. Manny pushes his ass down on the floor like, you bow to the Highest. And I'm just like, oh God, they doing to me like how he supposed to know that? He just got here. But they doing all this, telling him. And then as what do you say? So the Highest was like, hand me the phone. Aaron hands him the phone, but apparently that's not enough for them. They Daikon told him, you say yes, your Highest. And I'm just like, this man has been here, what, like, I don't know how long the time frame is in the show because it moves so goddamn slow. But I'm assuming this nigga only been here for one night. How the hell he supposed to know he's supposed to bow to the highest, say yes, you're highest, all that? Like, damn, y'all making it already not seem welcoming for him. I mean, it's got too late for that because Aaron ain't feeling the place no more anyway. So Aaron says, yes, you're highest, hands him the phone. The highest hands the phone to River, tells River to check the history of the phone. River says there are no outgoing calls or messages. And the highest was like, well, did Aaron delete anything on the phone? River was like, not that I can see of, nothing that I can see. So the highest asked Aaron himself, he was like, did you delete anything? Aaron was like, no, I just had the phone for emergencies. So the highest was like, this isn't good. And, you know, the what's it called? God damn it. The theme song. When the sun go down. Okay. So then the highest, he asked Aaron. Did he ask Aaron? No, he asked River. He asked River who was Aaron's last call on that phone. Oh, no. The highest asked River who was the last incoming call. River says it was Aaron's mother. So the highest asked Aaron, he was like, what would your mother say if we called her right now? So Aaron was like, look, I didn't know the phone was working because there's no reception. The highest was like, yeah, we don't have reception here, whatever. He was like, Aaron says he don't want to cause any trouble. So the highest grabbed the phone from River, hands it to Aaron, was like, call your mother, put it on speakerphone. So he calls his mother, and the highest was like, if she answers, but she did answer. So I was just like, what you gonna do? So Aaron's mother answers. She's like, oh, hey, like normal combo between mother and son. I was waiting to see if Aaron was going to, like, say some type of code. This is why I feel like people, families, like, period, no matter where you come from, black, white, no matter what your skin color, y'all should always have some type of code or something, like, so if something's wrong, you can say it on the phone. It can't be too, like, off-brand to where you talking about something and then you just randomly say this word, somebody holding you hostage, and they like, what the fuck is this word about? That'll throw them, that'll let them know that you got this code. It got to be a code word that can blend in with whatever you're talking about, but it still can't be too off-brand, you feel me? But I feel like everybody should have a code, because, like, situations like this, he tried it, but it didn't work. So he telling his mom, everything, we good, we hiking out Virginia, the highest raised his eyebrows. I was like, oh, he gave the location. It's not the exact location, but they definitely in rural Virginia. So I was like, oh, he gave the location. So he was like, yeah, we in Virginia. We ran into some nice people. So the mother was like, oh, well, let me speak to Laura. Aaron was like, Laura went for a hike with some of the other people. So the mom was like, okay, well, your dad wants to speak to you. So I was like, oh, snap. I was like, well, I wonder who his dad is, because Aaron's supposed to be a EMT. So I was like, I wonder if his father is like he might be like a cop or something. You never know. I don't know. But from the way him and Aaron was talking on the phone, I don't think his father was no cop. I think he's just a regular dad. So he gets on the phone. He talking to Aaron. Like, how you doing, son? Aaron's like, I'm good. He's like, you don't sound good, son. So Aaron get the, I'm just struggling trying to get this tent up. And, so Aaron's dad was like, oh, well, we got you the nicest one. So I'm like, okay, so the parents bought the tents. So that's what it's seeming like. He said, we bought you the nicest one. So then Aaron says, yeah, the blue one. And then the father says, no, it's red and white. I was like, you goddamn. And then the highest hangs up the phone. Was like, you really would try that? And Aaron was like, what did I do? And and the highest was like, tipped them off. And Aaron was like, no, that's not what I was doing at all. Kind of felt like it, because, like, how come the father didn't know what color is the actual tent? Is it actually blue or is it red and white? I don't know. But in that moment, I'm like, okay, so the parents bought their tents. So he was like, so Aaron was like, I didn't do anything. Yeah, so Aaron said, I wasn't doing that. I wasn't trying to tip them off. So the highest asked, like, where is this so-called tent at? And Daikon was like, in his bag, in Aaron's bag that he been holding on to so tight. And the highest was like, and where's the bag? And River was like, it's in the men's trailer. So the highest was like, well, somebody go get it. Somebody runs off to get the bag. And the highest was like, we give, and you come in here and you do this. And Aaron was like, what did I do? Like, you know, he's still like, what you mean? What did I do? So the highest was like, you know how they love saying this damn shit. I will find out. And I loved Aaron for this moment because I get so tired of him saying I will find out. He was like, find out. He was like, what? What do you want me to tell you? I can tell you right now. Caught the highest dumbass off guard. He was like, that's not how it works. I'm just like, why? That's not how it works. He willing to tell you whatever you want to know right now, but you talking about something, that's not how it works. I'm sorry, but did they ever personally say it was no cell phones allowed? I would understand. I mean, I get the aesthetic of the place, but if they were never told there was no cell phones allowed, they wasn't never checked or nothing like that, how is Aaron really in the wrong, kind of? Like, how? I mean, I don't know. But I was like, yes, in that moment. Aaron was like, what do you want to know? Like, I'll tell you right now. I was like, it doesn't work like that. I was like, yeah, nigga, because you wasn't expecting him to be like that. You thought he was going to be like, there's nothing to tell. Da, da, da. No, nigga, he telling you, what do you want to know right now? So the highest, he ushers two men to come over and grab Aaron and tells River, take him to my lair and show him how we and show him how it's done. River smiling, yes, your highest. You know, Aaron, he pleading like, no. He's still screaming Laura name, like, Laura. Like, trying to, even though Laura ain't even right there, it's just basically like all the men. So she's like, Laura. The highest was like, that was disappointing. So then, Daikon was like, we sorry, your highest. And the highest was like, well, whose job was it to check them? So I knew, like, this was my first thought. And I couldn't even remember. I know when they came to the gate, they had to stay outside in their little tent. And then I know Elder Mother and Zane brought them food and water. I'm trying to remember when they was brought in. I don't think they was searched. After they was done eating, I think they just let them come in. I don't remember. But in this moment, he asked, like, he said, whose job was it to check them, Aaron and Laura? So the soldier that told Lewis is the soldier that told Aaron and Laura that he was about the fake rehab story, having to be chained up and all that. So he the one that told them that story. His name is Lewis. And George is the one that told Lewis to be wary of Manly, because Manly's starting to believe this shit and all that. It's like, you know, we don't believe this shit. So his name is George. I found out this episode his name is George. So the highest says, whose job was it to check Aaron and Laura? Before Daikon could even say anything, George stands up and says, it was my job, your highest. And Daikon was like, well, be that as it may, it still falls on me. George was like, well, it was my fault, your highest. You should punish me, sir. Da da da. So I was in my head like, what's this dude angle? So George was like, yeah, I deserve it. It was my fault. Da da da. And the highest was like, the highest tells George to go to the punishment trailer. And in that moment, I was like, do he not get an escort? He just get to walk himself to the punishment trailer? That shit ain't make sense. If it was anybody else, they would get an escort and all that. But they didn't show him leaving, so maybe he did. I don't know. But I think about stuff like that. Like, he ain't get no escort. He just got to walk himself to the punishment trailer. And at this point, it was supposed to be, what, Andrew in the punishment trailer, Elder Mother. But I guess they put them in separate ones, because Elder Mother wasn't in the same punishment trailer as Andrew. So I guess he got to walk himself. Yeah, did he not get to walk without an escort? So high as he holds up the phone, it was like, we must never let this happen again. This phone he was like, this is a device from the evil government. They use it to listen to us and track us. It was like, and I was like, he's not too far off. Like, he's not lying though. Like, real shit, that's really what they be doing with these damn cell phone devices. Hell yeah. Yeah, I put LOL, he's not too far off. So he was like, that's why he was like, they use them to listen and track us. He said, that's why we don't want them here. We don't need them here. All that stuff. Everybody started to disperse and all that. Manny comes up and is like, I'm so sorry, Your Highest. And I'm like, what you apologizing for, nigga? Well, we found out last episode that Manny feeling real guilty. Like, he really feeling like the Rock who cut his dick up. So, so we see. And we found out later in this episode why he trying to suck up to the Highest as well. So he come, I apologize, Highest, Your Highest. Highest was like, all right, get the fuck to your post. Like, what the hell you coming to me for? So the Highest turns to Daikon, was like, you should have known better. And I was like, oh man, Daikon, this nigga Daikon can't catch a break. They stay doing shit under his nose. So he was like, yeah, you should have known better. So Daikon was like, I know, Your Highest. Highest was like, this could have been bad. Daikon was like, yeah, on the Raku. And I was like, okay. But the Highest was like, the Raku fixed it and made it right. So Daikon was like, Daikon was like, the Raku will always protect you. Says that to the Highest, and I was like, and I felt that a funny way of wording it, because he said the Raku will always protect you, like saying that the Raku will only protect the Highest, and not the rest of the clan that's following them, the ones that actually believe or whatever. So I thought that was interesting that he said only the Highest. So he was like, the Raku will protect you, and the Highest was like, just like your men will protect you. So Daikon was like, huh? But he don't say huh. He was like, Your Highest? But he says it in a huh way. And I was just like, so cringe. He was like, Your Highest? And the Highest was like, why do you think George would just jump out there and take the punishment like that? So Daikon was like, because he loves you, Your Highest. And the Highest was like, or he loves you. So then the Highest was like, don't let me find out you fucking him. Daikon was like, no, that's not what it is at all. And I was like, damn, that's immediately where his mind go. So the Highest was like, well, why is he so loyal to you? And Daikon was like, he's loyal to you, Your Highest. Like, they all love you, da-da-da-da. He was like, and the Highest was like, that's not all of them. And Daikon was like, they love you, Your Highest, and I promise you go punish George, and you will see that he loves you as well, that they all love you, whatever. You know, here go the Highest. You know, I will find out. Him and Daikon they love banging that shit. I will find out. So they was like, let's go see Andrew. So the Highest and Andrew, I mean, not the Highest and Andrew, the Highest and Daikon, they go see Andrew in the punishment trailer. Andrew, they like, get up, boy. Poor Andrew. You imagine he's still ass naked in this jump. So the Highest asked Andrew, he was like, do you love me? Andrew was like, I've been trying to prove that. And the Highest was like, but you are the government. And Andrew was like, I'm not the government. I'm not the government anymore. Not anymore. So the Highest was like, you lie. So Andrew was like, if I was the government, they would have busted in. He was like, if I was the government, they would have busted in here right now. Plus with all the stuff I done seen. So then the Highest was like, what have you seen? Andrew was like, come on, Your Highest, man. I was like, look at Andrew really like trying to shoot the shit with the Highest though. So he was like, come on. He was like, come on, man. You are like, you know what the fuck I seen up in here. That's how he really like said it too. So what he say? So Andrew was like, man, everything. I done seen everything. The baddies, the rapes, the cartel, Lilo, you name all that shit. The kids. So the Highest was like, are you threatening me? And I was like, that's not a smart move. Like, I mean, I get you trying to show you a follower and all that, but admitting to all, like, saying all the stuff that you know, like admitting, I know all this, I done seen all this, that also makes you a liability. And that makes them think like, maybe we shouldn't keep this nigga alive. He do know too much. But I guess, whatever. So the Highest was like, are you threatening me? Andrew was like, no, why would I do that so right here, right now, so you could kill me? Andrew was like, I'm telling you all this so you can trust me. He was like, when when I was in the FBI, my oath was to stop crime, but I came here and you touched me. You know what that means? Like, you touched me, you enlightened me, and you taught me and you opened my eyes. And the highest was like, why should I believe you? So Andrew says, cause he killed the oh yeah, he was like, why should I believe you, Andrew? Andrew was like, cause he killed the FBI agent for the highest. He was like, I killed the FBI agent for you. He was like, I can't I can't go nowhere else or do nothing else. I done killed the FBI agent. Da da da. So where am I? So Andrew was like, he tells the highest, I love you, I'm your loyal servant. No, he says, I love you and I'm loyal to you and the Raku, and and the highest was like, well, I should give you a test. He was like, they started talking about Andrew's little plan. Andrew started saying the plan. The highest basically told him, like, if he don't return, he gonna take all the kids and hang them by the necks at the front gate and put Andrew's name attached to it. I was like, oh gosh, like this, oh man. So Andrew, he kisses the highest hand. It was like, don't worry, like, you don't have nothing to worry about, your highest. I'm your loyal servant. I was like, super cringe. It was ill. He's like, I'll do whatever you ask. So the highest tell Daikon, like, all right, take him to the car. The highest leaves out. Daikon start uncuffing Andrew. He was like, get dressed. He was like, you got 9 lives. Andrew was like, I will come back, brother. Daikon was like, mm-hmm. And Daikon don't believe it. Daikon just like, I don't care. Either way, we gonna kill your ass. That's what I feel like Daikon coming from. He's like, either way, we gonna kill your ass. So I don't even care. So we at the sheriff's station. The 2 FBI agents, they still sitting there with the female deputy waiting for the sheriff to come in. Sheriff finally comes in. I should have known you guys would be here. I'm like, what you thought? You've been gaslighting the hell out their ass. Is that the right word? I don't know. So the female agent, and she was like, well, you said be here bright and early. So in this moment, the female agent asked Sheriff, she was like, did you sleep in? And he was like, oh yeah. And before he could say even more, the female deputy cuts him off and was like, well, your wife said you had to take care of something on the far side of town. So the sheriff was like, oh yeah. He names a place, and I can't remember. Is it the place that he named? Is it the same place that his wife named on the last episode? I cannot remember, and I'm not about to go back and check. But she did name a place last episode. I'm not about to go back and check that. But if somebody remembers, did he name the same place that his wife did in the last episode? But he was like, yeah, my wife, oh yeah, I did have to go handle something such a place. Then he asked the deputy, what, you keeping tabs on me now? And I was like, she trying to look out for your dumb ass because you was about to rat on yourself. She was like, no, I'm not. They are. I was like, you lucky she stopped the damn conversation because you basically snitched on yourself. Because she asked you, did you sleep in? And you said, yeah. But then she just said your wife had something on the other side of town. So the female deputy was like, oh, I'm not keeping tabs on you. They are. So the sheriff was like, well, how about we go talk in my office? So him and the 2 FBI agents, they go to his office. And then it goes back to the doctor, the Rakadushi compound. Daikon telling Andrew, he's like, you got 4 hours to get it done. He's like, you see those kids over there? Andrew was like, I don't got to see no kids to come back, Daikon. I know I only need 3 hours. You're talking about 4. I only need 3. So I'm just like, I'm wondering what Andrew going to do. But his track record, he probably just going to do what they want, what the Rakadushis want. The way it ended, I'm wondering how it's going to happen. I mean, the way this Joan written, I'm pretty sure whatever's happening with Andrew next episode, I'm going to just wait. Anyway. So, goes back to the sheriff's station. And I found out the male FBI agent's name. His name is Cal. I don't think they said the female FBI agent's name yet. They might have said it on the premiere episode. Can't remember, but his name is Cal. The male FBI agent. His name is Cal, but I don't know her name yet. The female FBI agent. So he telling the sheriff. They sitting down with the sheriff, and Cal saying to the sheriff, he was like, "Oh, so you told us that Brian left the station the other day?" And the sheriff was like, "That's right, I did." So Cal was like, "Well, we didn't see Brian's car on any of the toll cameras." The sheriff was like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you." So Cal get the way. You think I'm fucking around with you, right? He's like, "You think we fucking around?" He was like, "We'll burn this little ass town to the ground before one of our own start getting all pissed off." So the female FBI agent, she tell Cal, she's like, take a walk. So he leaves. So Cal leaves out. So the female officer, she get the, I apologize for my partner. The sheriff like, "You need to calm down," or something he said. The sheriff was like, "Oh, I know what this is. This is good cop, bad cop." And for a minute, I thought that's what she's about to do, try to appeal to him. I was like, "Oh, that's not gonna work, girl." But then she was like, "Well, you'd be wrong to think that he's the bad cop in this situation." So I was like, "Oh, snap, what's she about to do?" She was like, "Here's what I know." She was like, the drugs, the children, the trafficking and all that. She's like, "I know it's all happening at that compound." So the sheriff was like, "Well, why haven't you busted up in there then?" Okay, yeah. So the sheriff was like, "So why haven't you gone in there and busted in there and stopped them yet?" So she was like, there was a member of the group. So they finally tie in. I don't know who watches the Oval, but on the Oval, Tally died. She killed herself in what's their names? In Ruth's baby father people's house. She went to Ruth's baby father people's house, and she shot herself. Found the gun and shot herself. So they finally tied into, because I was like, when are they gonna finally like reveal on Ruthless that Tally is dead? Because they were searching for Tally for a while and she got away on Ruthless, yeah. And then I think they just stopped looking for her. I can't remember. Or somebody said that she was dead. I can't remember or whatever, but she died on the Oval. So the female FBI agent, she says it was a member of a group, they camp named Tally. She still has a daughter there. They mentioned her daughter. And they was like, she got away, she escaped, but she killed herself. So I was in this moment, like, I wonder if Sheriff even remembers, because remember, Tally, she escaped with somebody else. Was it Tally? Oh, no, it wasn't Tally. It wasn't Tally. It was Lacey and Paula who escaped to the sheriff and his wife's house. And I thought they got shot up. Didn't they? I can't remember. But yeah, it was definitely Lacey and Paula. Oh yeah, so Tally never went to the sheriff's house. Yeah, she just got away on the dirt bike, I guess. Whatever. But so she goes on to tell the sheriff Tally got away, but then she committed suicide. Says that Tally was afraid of something. So the sheriff was like, "Well, I can't see why." And she was like, "Why is that?" The female FBI agent was like, "Why is that?" And sheriff was like, "Well, you haven't been up there. Like, they're some of the nicest people sucking their dick, because they suck his dick." Literally, figuratively. So he's like, "They're some of the nicest people." She was like, "Did you not just hear what I said about Tally?" He was like, "Man, I don't be believing all that BS that people say about them, this, that, and the third." And she was like, not trying to hear that bullshit. She was just like, "Man, look, is Brian up there?" The sheriff was like, "Well, not that I know of." She was like, at this moment, she was like tired. She was like, "All right, I ain't gonna have to do this." And sheriff was like, "Do what?" So then the female deputy yells from out the front of the station, like, "Sheriff, you want to get out here?" So sheriff and female FBI agent, they go out there. FBI swarming in, starting to set up. The female FBI agent starting to tell everybody what to set up and all that. Sheriff's like, what is going on here? What she say? Yeah, she was like, you know, big bureaucrat shit. She was like, this investigation is officially being taken over by the FBI. You know, she calls Cal over. She was like, Cal, it's gonna be your new partner. Says that to the sheriff. Said he gonna be with you 24/7. Sheriff was like, what the fuck type bullshit is this? And she was like, well, this is what happens when the FBI don't get when they don't get the cooperation that they need. The sheriff, he pissed off. He like, this is some bullshit and all that. So Cal was like, I want you to tell me everything that you know about the Rockadoochies. Why don't you tell me everything you know about the Rockadoochies, Sheriff? The sheriff was like, and if I say no, what do you say? If I refuse? The Cal was like, well, you'll be interfering with a federal investigation of a missing agent. So then the female FBI agent, she goes up to the little female deputy. She was like, what do you know about the Rockadoochies? The deputy's like, just about as much as anybody else in this town knows about them. The deputy's like, well, you're going to be my new best friend. I mean, the FBI agent girl was like, well, you're going to be my new best friend. The deputy's like, okay. So then they get to this quick little scene. Elder Mother and Zane, they still in the punishment trailer waiting for the highest to get there. Because, you know, the highest sent Elder Mother to the punishment trailer. And I can't believe the Elder Mother just letting it fly that Zane smacked the shit out of her last episode. It's like, come on, old lady. So they in the punishment trailer. And Elder Mother just like, oh, I don't like waiting. We don't like waiting. And, you know, Zane was like, I can punish you. Just let me hit you. She just geeked up. She needed tuning down, but she get one later on in this episode. Not too far from here. So she's like, I can punish you. And Elder Mother's like, I don't want you to touch me. You better not touch me. And Zane was like, the highest would be so pleased. And Elder Mother's like, you better not. I was just like, this girl really done snapped. It's funny. It's hilarious. So the highest like, oh, I didn't do anything. And Zane just like, the highest would be so pleased. They're still saying it. So then the highest comes in. And Zane just like, your highest, can I punish her? Can I hit her? even the highest is looking like little girl, chill out. But he was like, no, child, leave. Run along now. Run along, child. So she runs along. Zane runs along. And as she leaves the punishment trailer, she runs into Manny. You know, even though she did what she did to Manny, she still trying to keep her distance. She don't want him to figure her out. Because then once he figured it out, because like his little buddy said, his little soldier buddies, they said that he was one of the ones that didn't believe all this stuff. But now that Zane done did what she did to him, he kind of believing. So soon as Manny found out that she used some little thing to put up in herself to cut him, he gonna be like, oh, okay. So we definitely don't want Manny finding out. Probably gonna kill Zane's ass. Like, they don't even care that Manny killed Belinda. So it was just like, is it Belinda or Melinda? The one he killed when she was giving him head in the box. I mean, granted, she tried to kill him first, but like, he stabbed her in the head. So, and nobody even cared about that. Like, nobody even investigated it, I don't think. Or did it get blamed on somebody else? I don't remember, but so Zane, she runs into Manny, and Manny was like, she was like, she's trying to get away from him, like, move, or she's like, you want me to kick you on your dick again? So he was like, no. He was like, the Raku has taught me a lesson, and he was like, I shouldn't have did what I did, and she was like, okay, good. And he was like, I want to make it up to you, and Zane was like, you can make it up to me by just staying the fuck away from me. Like, that's how you can make it up to her. Like, period. So, yeah, she was like, you can make it up to me by leaving me alone. So Manny was like, I'm going to marry you. So Zane started laughing. Because I forgot that it was only the men there at this ceremony. So the women are finding out through hearsay and stuff. And Zane obviously hadn't found out yet. So I was like, oh, they making this a real... I was like, okay, they're bringing this new storyline of the men getting married. I wonder what this is going to entail. Well, it's obviously going to entail more rape as we see how the episode playing out. Because the women ain't feeling it. So, So Manny was like, I'm going to marry you. And Ruth was like, not Ruth. Zane, she started laughing and was like, what? So that's when Manny tells her about the highest little prophecy. He was like, he said we can marry. We get some of the men that we be able to marry. Zane face, like, if facial expressions could speak, man, her face was like, what the hell? Like, are you serious right now? That's what her face said. She was like, what? And then she said, what? So Manny was like, he's like, I'm going to ask. He was like, the highest said that we can marry, and I'm going to ask him for you. So Zane was like, no, like, don't do that. Don't do that. What he said? Yeah, so he was like, I'm going to ask him for you. I'm going to ask the highest for you, Zane. So Manny was like, him getting cut by the Rock who has changed him. He's like, he going to only lay with Zane. He was like, that way he won't get cut again. And Zane was like, no, you can't do that. And Manny was like, why not? She was like, because I don't want you to. She was just like, and she runs off. She's pissed. So now Zane already done cracked in the brain. So now this news of the men being able to marry, she kind of got now. So Elder Mother, she continuously apologizing to the highest. And yeah, so they back at the punishment trailer with the highest and Elder Mother. I just randomly started talking like it was the same scene, but Elder Mother's in the punishment trailer with the highest. He steady apologizing. She's like, but your highest, you said you wanted men who like women and that were strong. And the highest was like, well, why would they want you? And she was like, I'm not that old. I was like, girl, they got some women in there that's probably virgins. You talking about something, you're not that old. But I mean, hey, I'm not even mad at it because, I mean, if she's in there, I mean, some of them dudes she probably is raping, but some of them dudes are probably doing it consensually. So I'm not even mad if it's the dudes that she's doing it to consensually, because that'll keep them away from the girls that don't want to have sex, and that'll keep them from getting raped in there and stuff. So I'm not even mad at that, but I am mad at the fact that she is in there raping some of these dudes because she's threatening them if they don't do these sexual acts and stuff. So that part is bad. But as far as the consensual ones, I ain't even mad at that, because hey, I'd rather them hitting her consensually than be out here raping one of these other girls that don't want to do it. So it's kind of like I'm on the fence about this whole situation with the women getting seeing who liked the women and all that for the highest. So she was like, you wanted me to find the men that like women and that were strong. So she was like, why would they want you? And she was like, I'm not that old. And the highest was like, well, you are the wisest woman here. And I was like, is she though? She's like, you're the wisest woman here. She couldn't even realize that Ruth used a fake pregnancy test or used fake pee or whatever. But she the wisest woman here. I mean, Ruth is a smart broad, but whatever. So, he was like, you're the wisest woman here. He was like, I can't have my men like to have my men running from you. I was like, they don't run from me. And Hines was like, well, I took a poll. He was like, you slept with 21 out of the 26 men. You slept with 21 out of 26 of the men. And I was like, ew. Like, wow. I'm wondering how many of those was consensual. So Elder Mother was like, they told you? And Hyde was like, yes, and it stops now. Elder Mother was like, yes, okay. She was like, I was just trying to help. And he was like, you cannot help me with this. The little banter between the highest and Elder Mother was funny. Because it's like a man low-key talking to a baby in a sense. But not a baby. But it was funny. He was like, you cannot help me with this. He was like, just go prepare my meal. So she gets up. She's like, oh, you're not going to punish me, your highest. He was like, I just did by making you stop. I was like, I thought that was funny as shit. He said, I am punishing you by making you stop. He was like, and if I hear anything else, you will get sent to the charge chair. She was like, oh, no, your highest. I won't do it anymore. I was just like, bruh, they better get Elder Mother as a vibrator. Or just let her keep doing what she doing, get caught and die. Get killed, whatever. He was like, I am punishing you by making you stop. So now Daikon want to be fake little investigator. So he goes to, but he low-key still trying to, like, find out about Ruth. Because, you know, he loved Ruth low-key. He loved to hate her. So he goes up to Lewis, Soldier Lewis. He was like, what do you know about Manny? And remember, Manny told Lewis that Daikon or somebody might come asking around about the story that Ruth made up and told Daikon about Elder Mother cutting his dick and all that. So Lewis was already on point. So Daikon was like, what do you know about Manny? Lewis was like, well, I know he's one of the most loyal. Daikon was like, you know if he fucking any of the women? And Lewis was like, no, not Manny. So Daikon was like, well, you answered that pretty quickly. Lewis was like, well, I know because we hold each other accountable. And Daikon was like, he asked, has the Elder Mother been messing with Manny? Been bothering Manny? So Lewis, you know, he got to put the story on, so he tried to fake hesitate. Daikon was like, tell me. And Lewis was like, well, I went to the infirmary one day, and when I went in there, I saw Manny's hand up Elder Mother's dress. Daikon was like, well, did Manny look like he was enjoying it? Lewis was like, nah, Elder Mother likes to flirt with us and then threaten us. So he definitely didn't like he was enjoying it. So he was like, Manny's solid. He was like, I keep an eye on him. So then Daikon was like, has you ever seen Manny with Ruth? Lewis was like, oh, no way. Like, we love the highest too much. He was like, Manny would never do that. So I was like, okay, Ruth holding big weight. The soldiers know. Ruth off limits. I wonder when Ruth gonna get bombed out for actually not being pregnant. I mean, she got away with the pregnancy with the piss. So how many episodes? I don't know how the time frame goes on this John. So I don't even know how long it is from when Ruth is pregnant. I mean, supposed to be pregnant. The piss test. I don't know. So Ruth, she comes in the kitchen and she see these little two female members. They chattering or whatever. They disperse when they see her come in. You know, she an elder now, so Ruth was like, she asked one of them, she was like, what was y'all talking about? So she was like, oh, nothing, elder. And Ruth was like, spit it out. So she was like, she was like, have you heard, like, the men, the highest is allowing some of the men to be married. Ruth was like, oh, yeah? And the woman was like, yeah, but only the ones that have been enlightened. So the woman was like, I feel like shouldn't we get a say in this? And Ruth was like, well, he is the highest. And it's sad, like, because Ruth and Joan and River, they don't care about all the stuff that's happening to these people in here. They don't care what happens. All they caring about is this money. And I get it, because like I said, like, why go through all this if you ain't getting a payday out of it? I totally get both sides, but it's sad. So it's like, in this moment, she just telling that girl whatever, just because, you know, trying to stay in it because she's trying to get that money. So she was like, well, he is the highest. And the woman was like, well, some of these men are like super mean, rude. You know, she low-key wanted to say some of these men be in here raping us and stuff, and now they just get to do it consistently without punishment type stuff. Even though they were doing it without punishment, but now they get to do it out in the open without punishment. So, and I was like, that's kind of, you don't want the woman to rebel and then you ain't got no women. All the women just keep getting punished and stuff. You ain't going to want that. So I don't know. But I guess he said, like he says, only the enlightened ones. So, and then we find out in this same scene what the enlightened ones entail a little more, like into death. Because we know the enlightened ones are the ones that got fucked by the highest. But we find out later in Death by Ruth what they are. Like, what, I get to it anyway. So, what she say? She's like, some of these men are very rude to us and all that, mean. And Ruth was like, well, you should do better at being a woman. And I was just like, shaking my head, like I said, I get both sides. Ruth just there for the money, so she gonna say whatever. But this poor woman just feeling like, I'm gonna have to go through this now. So Ruth tells the woman, like, grab some of the other women, go wash some dishes or something. Joan comes in. She was like, this is all your fault, Ruth. She was like, you had sex with the highest, and now you got this, put this stuff in his head. She was like, ask River. He, put it in his head that it feels so good. So now he wants all the men to feel it too. Well, the enlightened ones, of course. So I was like, oh, Lord. Here comes Joan. So Ruth was like, I can't help that the highest is crazy. She called him this mother. She's like, I can't help that this motherfucker is crazy. So Joan was like, you can't, but you didn't have to make him crazier. So Ruth was like, do you want the highest, Joan? I felt like this was just a stupid filler scene. Joan was like, no, that's gross. No, gross. Ruth was like, I see how you try to be all sweet. Ruth was like, I see how you try to be all sweet and innocent, Joan, but you a low-key freak whole time. Joan don't deny it. She say something. I don't remember what she said. So Ruth was like, go do this. Joan was like, I would, but I'm about to go to the bank with the highest. That made Ruth's little eyes perk up. She scooted closer. She was like, oh, so how much is it this time? I was like, look at Ruth geeking ass. She do not care. Like, this poor woman telling you that we don't get no say and these men want to marry us and all that. But you hear that money, you perk up like a I don't even know, something that's perky. Nipples. She was like, so how much is it this time? Joan was like, I'm not telling you. She was like, so you and River can leave me high and dry? Ruth was like, oh, so it's that much, huh? Joan was like, oh, no, it's not that much. I was like, well, how much is it, goddammit? Because by the end of these trips that they got to keep making to the bank, it's supposed to be like a couple of million. I don't know. So Ruth was like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll get the highest to tell me. And Joan low-key smart. She was like, you ought to be careful with that box between your legs. She's like, it's not as powerful as you think it is. Ruth was like, you sound jealous. She's like, why don't you go pick you up something too? And I was just like, I mean, Joan, she ain't lying. Like, you think you got the power, but you almost got your head chopped off, at the top of the last episode. You had that in your back pocket, but now the highest kind of low-key knows everything. So what you gonna have in your back pocket next time you get caught up, Ruth? So, like I said, the highest, he been talking to a lot of people this episode. So, man, I don't even remember how many people he done talked to so far. So, man, he approaches the highest. The highest, he walking around this episode. And he approaches the highest. He was like, he apologizes again. Some dumb shit. He was like, it's so wonderful that the men can marry, that we can marry. And the highest was like, well, not you. I thought he was about to say not you because you got the cut up dick and we don't want you in. I thought that's what he was about to say, but he was like, not you. And man was like, I know because I haven't been enlightened. He was like, I want to be though. And the highest was like, are you sure about that? So Manny says, yes, I do. I am sure. So in this moment, I was wondering why the highest was being hesitant about, like, enlightening Manny. Like, enlightening is him, fucking him in the butt or getting head from them. So why would he be against it? Like some new ass or something. I don't know, but I found out in the next scene why he probably wouldn't want Manny to be enlightened. So he was like, you sure about that? And Manny was like, yeah. So the highest was like, I'm not quite sure. So Manny was like, I'll do anything. I'll do anything for the Raku. So the highest was like, mind you, I'm still waiting on my damn call from the eye doctor to come pick my glasses up. So I'm not squinting in vain. I'm literally just waiting for that call to pick them jumps up. So the where am I? Oh yeah, so Manny was like, I'll do anything for the Raku, and the Heist was like, all right, well, I'll let you know when the Raku lets me know. I'll let you know. So Manny thinking the convo over, try to walk off. No, the Heist hit him with the do you have a woman here? That caught me off guard. I was like, like record stop. He was like, do you have a woman here? And I know Manny wasn't expecting it. So Manny was like, oh no, stuttering, no, I don't. I just Zahais was like, it must be something that makes you want to participate in the ritual. So Manny was like, oh, I just want to move up in the ranks like Andrew and Daikon. He's like, they're enlightened and I want to be too. So the Heist was like, oh, you have to be chosen for that. The Heist was like, well, I'll let you know. He's like, but until then, man, he's like, I know, I won't touch anyone. He was like, of course I won't touch anyone, absolutely. He done killed the girl, raped some girls. He did a whole bunch of stuff. Like I said, I hate that the characters that's so bad on this show is kind of cute to me. Like Manny, his character is the worst of the worst, but he is so fine. Like he is so fine to me. Daikon, hate his character on here, but he kind of cute to me. Oliver was kind of cute, but I ain't like his character neither. He was annoying. I think that's it. Malcolm kind of cute, but I don't really like the light skins that much. No offense, but I like chocolate. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So in this scene, so Zane, she runs into the kitchen. She yelling to Ruth. She's like, help me, Ruth. Oh, my God. Like, so Ruth's like, what's going on? What's wrong? So Zane telling her, like, she saw Manny talking to the Highest. And Ruth was like, okay, what's going on? So she tells, like, Manny's going to ask for me. He's going to ask the Highest for me. So Ruth was like, calm down. So Zane was like, she was like, is it true that we're going to get to marry? And Ruth was like, well, some of the men. Zane started freaking out. She was like, no, why? Like, why? So Ruth steadily telling her, she's like, calm down. So Ruth asked Zane, she was like, you still got the device that you cut Manny up with? And Zane was like, yeah, but I don't want to have to wear it every day. It's uncomfortable. Like, it hurts on my end, too, and all that. And I was like, yeah, like, eventually, he want to do it every day. That junk going to start messing up, and it's going to start cutting her, too. I mean, well, he ain't going to go back in again if it cut him the second time. He's trying to heal up from the first one. He's still a little limpy. So I don't even know why she asked about the device, but I mean, I guess to cut him again. She's like, yeah, I still got it, but it's uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to keep wearing it every day. It hurts. So Zane steady screaming. She's like, oh my God, if the Highest gives me the Manny. Ruth just yelling like, calm down. Zane not listening. So Ruth, she smacks the hell out of Zane. That's why I said Zane got a little tender into this episode. Ruth smacked the hell out of her ass. She was like, calm down. Smacked a little sense into Zane because Zane was like, I'm sorry. She was like, I'm sorry. So Ruth gives her this pill. Just like, take it. It'll calm you down. Zane was just like, I just don't want to be with Manny. Ruth was like, you won't be. You won't be with Manny. Zane was like, how do you know that? So this is where Ruth goes into detail. So she was like, only the men that have been enlightened will get to marry. So Ruth was like, the Highest doesn't like big guys that can like overpower him. She says bash his head in. So he don't like big dudes. He like smaller, weak dudes like River that he can control and stuff like that. So those are most likely to be the ones that will be marrying. Which is kind of crazy because, okay, those are basically what you would call like bisexual or homosexual men. Because you're saying dudes like River, small, weaker dudes. I mean, that's okay. I mean, it's a lot in that because, okay, these smaller, weaker dudes, these women might tolerate because they just like these small, weaker dudes. they smashing or whatever. So it's like, okay, the women might be okay with that. But then you got the dudes that's strong and big dudes and stuff. So they just gonna be left out in the cold. They gonna be still out here raping these women and doing whatever they want with these women. Probably some of these smaller dudes' wives that can't defend themselves. So it's just like, it's a whole cycle of mess. So it's just like, I don't even understand that. I don't even understand that. And then you got this, like, it's just gonna be a weird, it's like a whole weird situation. The smaller men sleeping with the women. So the big men ain't gonna have no women to sleep with. So they gonna be still raping the women and stuff, doing what they doing. And probably raping some of the smaller men's women. So they're gonna have to worry about sleeping with these smaller, weaker men and getting raped by the big, strong men or whatever you want to call it. And then the smaller, weaker men can't defend women against the soldiers, because like, can the soldiers get the beefing? That's gonna cause that's gonna be a problem. I don't know how this about to play out. Because once she broke that down like that, I was like, oh, that's what the enlightened ones mean. But then you got enlightened ones like Andrew and Daikon, so I don't know. So we'll see. But that's gonna be a whole crazy situation. So she tells Zane all this, and Zane was like, "Are you sure about this?" And Ruth was like, "Yes. Just relax, breathe, calm down. Like, the pill should be about to kick in, all that." So then we get to the scene with Aaron and River in the highest trailer. Yeah. Ooh, got an ice cube. Yeah, so we get the scene, Aaron and River, they in the highest trailer. Aaron he's weeping. He's so sad. They got him tied up, sitting on the floor, whatever, on a pillow or something like that. He's like, why are you doing this to me? And he was like, please, me and my wife, we just want to leave. We just want to go. River was like, I tried to warn you. I was like, when? And y'all was making them sarcastic ass jokes at him. But whatever, I guess. So Aaron was like, I got money. Like, I can pay you. And I was in my head for that quick moment, like, what if River real life fell for this shit and tried to get the money off Aaron and just left with Aaron? But I knew River wasn't going to do that. He just got the highest back up from dead, literally. So I don't feel like River was going to try nothing in that moment. But he just playing along in this moment. He's like, well, how much money? So Aaron was like, well, how much you want? River was like, I want Aladdin. And Aaron was like, well, you can have, what do you say? You can take the money that's in my bag. River was like, well, I already got that. I was like, this little sneaky ass. Be taking me this snake and shit. So Aaron was like, well, I can get more money. He's like, I can write you a check and go to the bank. River was like, yeah, that's never going to happen. So Aaron's still pleading, and River was like, look, as someone who's been through this, like, personally, I can tell you, the less you resist, the more, what do you say? The less you resist, the nicer it gets. The nicer it is. He was like, you only got one rope. Whew. He's like, you only got one rope right now, but wait till he hog ties you up. So Aaron was like, man, what is he gonna do to me? River was like, well, he takes the gag ball and he puts it in your mouth and pulls it and chokes you out. He's like, it could be a thrill or otherwise. He's like I said, it depends on how you take it, if you resist or not, whatever. Yeah, River was like, yeah, he didn't like that phone situation. So Aaron's still pleading, saying sorry, whatever. River was like, you just say all that to the highest. And River was like, do you want to make the highest happy? Aaron was like, man, we just want to leave. He's still saying, we just want to leave. So River was like, well, in order to do that, you must make the highest happy. So Aaron was like, what the fuck do I have to do? I don't think he said fuck, but I just felt like in that moment, Aaron's irritated. So he just like, what do I have to do? So River was like, suck his dick. And Aaron was like, oh, hell no, hell no. He was like, I'm not doing that. So River was like, yeah, I've heard that before. Probably out his own mouth. Nah, because River's like bad, whatever. But Aaron was like, you people are insane. River stands up all, we are the Raku. Geeking ass. Like in a damn Broadway play. We are the Raku. Sidebar, River is playing in All-American right now. This side note. But so Aaron's like struggling to try to get out of the ropes. River telling Aaron like, you're not getting out of those ropes. Like, trust me, I've tried. Like, I've been in that situation. So River's like, and even if you manage to get out of the ropes, like, it'd be like 58 guns on you before you even get to the gate. So he was like, you need to just relax. So then the highest walks in, catches River off guard. The highest was like, why is he asked River, why is Aaron tied up sitting on the pillow on the floor? And River was like, well, you wanted me to prepare him, and this is how we prepare. The highest was like, yes. And the highest tells River to like untie Aaron. Still not trying to seem scary at first to Aaron. So he's like, untie him now. So the highest was like, I'm so sorry, Aaron, about this. So he tells River to leave. River leaves. The highest asks Aaron, he was like, are you okay? Aaron was like, yeah. You know, he's sus of everybody, as he should be. He like, yeah, I'm okay. But he's still looking at him like a certain way. So the highest was like, well, I know it's been hard on you. And gives Aaron his phone back. So I was like, oh, they definitely about to kill this man now. He done gave him the phone back. I was like, oh, he dying now. Like, he gave him the phone back. I was like, oh, he dead. He dead now. I was like, he dying. I was like, and we don't even know what happened with his wife yet. We just know he powdered her ass up and she passed out. And they obviously pulled her ass out before he came in there. Before they drugged the husband in there. So he gave him the phone back. I was like, oh, yeah, they about to kill him. So Aaron was like, thank you. So the highest was like, I'm sorry, I had to make an example of you in front of my men. And Aaron was like, an example. And the highest was like, yeah, like, do you know that the phone tracks you? Like, gives the government all your information about you? So Aaron was like, yeah, I do know that. Like, like I said, he ain't off about it. So the highest was like, do you know there are apps that predict how long you will live? I was like, okay. So Aaron was like, no, I didn't know that. It's apps for everything, man. So he's like, yeah. So Aaron was like, no, I didn't know that. So the highest was like, you want something to drink? And I was like, oh, that's how they about to take him out, drink him some poison or something. But Aaron ain't stupid. He know it'd be stuff in the food, so he should know it's gonna be stuff in the drink. So he know that it's something to drink. So he ain't saying that. He like, nah. So Aaron was like, nah, I don't want to drink. He was like, if you don't mind, me and my wife, we just want to go. He's still in that tip. Like, we just want to go. So the highest was like, well, I understand. It's been a long night. Aaron was like, and quite a day thus far. So the highest was like, so you don't want to have just a drink with me? Aaron was like, nah. The highest was like, come on, man, don't insult me. He's like, you've insulted me 3 times. Have a drink with me. So Aaron was trying like, okay. And I was just like, that's what they do. They make it being about assaulting. That's the same thing Elder Mother does. They be like, you don't want Elder Mother to think that you don't like her cooking. So now it's just like, don't insult me 3 times. Come on, have a drink with me. It's basically like forceful at this point. But you know, this is what they do. So Aaron finally says, okay. So they sit down. The highest pours them up some drinks. And you know, Aaron, he's skeptical. He ain't taking no sip until he see the highest take a sip. So the highest was like, so you came all this way. Is this what you wanted? Holds his cup up for a cheers. He was like, you're not going to give me a cheers? So Aaron gives him a cheers and Aaron pulls his cup to him slowly. He ain't taking no sip yet. The highest takes a little teeny tiny sip. Tiny sip. Aaron still low-key hesitating. The highest was like, well, take a sip. Aaron was like, you take a sip. The highest was like, you good at eye contact, but you still haven't sipped. And Aaron was like, well, neither have you. The highest took a little tiny sip. So the highest, he lifts Aaron's bottom of his cup and like makes him take the sip. So the highest was like, better after he done took a sip of the damn, what could have been poison, but I guess we figure out later that that's not poison. I don't know what they're going to do with Aaron. So, So the highest asked again. He was like, "Did you get what you needed here? Da da da." So Aaron's like, "Well, my wife, she came here for healing." And highest cut him off and was like, the infertility. And he was like, Aaron was like, "Yeah." The highest was like, "And the problem with her back." So that caught Aaron off guard. He was like, "Oh, well, she told you about that?" He was like, "Yeah, she told me." He was like, "When?" Aaron was like, when did you speak to her?" The highest was like, "I spoke to her this morning." Yeah, Aaron was like, "Well, where is she? Where is Laura?" The highest was like, "Well, she's resting now." So, Aaron, he trying to get specific location like he did when him and River was walking to the men's trailer. So he was like, well, where is she? Like, where is she sleep? Where is she resting? So the highest was like, what did he say? I was about to say, is that the cat in here? So, the highest tells him to drink. He was like, yeah, he kept telling him to drink. You go ahead and drink. Why you so worried about Laura? And then Andrew was like, Aaron was like, well, I love her. Like, she's my wife, I love her. So the highest was like, oh, you do now? Aaron was like, very much. So the highest was like, well, so do I. Aaron was like, what? The highest was like, well, I have accepted her into the Raku. And she's staying now. So Aaron was like, all right, so where's Laura? I need to talk. He was like, fuck it. He put his drink down, finally get away from that drink. He was like, where's my wife? I need to talk to my wife. So the highest get to telling Aaron, oh, you can leave, but she's staying. Like, Laura's staying. So Aaron was like, I just want to see my wife and make sure she okay. So the highest was like, well, she has chosen to stay. Aaron still like, where is she? And the highest was like, well, do you want to see her for real? And Aaron was like, of course I want to see my wife. So the highest was like, I'll make a deal with you. Aaron looking at him. Because the highest was looking at Aaron's crotch when he said that. He was like, I'll make a deal with you. Looking at his crotch low key. So Aaron in this moment was like, I'm not into men, man. And the highest was like, you're funny. But it was like, damn, he already found out about you. So you know people that have been talking to him. So he was like, I'm not into men, man. So the highest was like, you funny. He was like, no. He says, I will, damn, where am I? God damn it, where am I? Okay. So he tells Aaron, if you give me the phone, you can talk to Laura. It's the only way. That's the only deal I'm going to make with you. So Aaron, he gives the highest the phone back. So I was like, oh, so that's what they did? They just gave him the phone back just to make him give it back. So I was like, maybe Aaron do got a chance now. I don't know. Should I say this now or should I wait till my predictions? I don't know, but low key, what if they do let Aaron go, and they thinking, okay, we're gonna hit the sheriff up, tell him it's a dude coming, and you take him there, and you hold him there, but whole time they don't even know the sheriff station is overrun by FBI agents. That'd be wild as hell, and he get in there, and Aaron get there. That'd be wild, but anyway. So Aaron gives the highest the phone back, and the highest calls Laura out. So where was Laura resting? Right in the next fucking room. Calls Laura out. She comes out. She butt naked, but she covered in like different powders and stuff. Colorful powders. So you can't really see her body, like her nipples and crotch area and stuff. But you can see the rest of her body and stuff. She naked. She looked like she in a trance, possessed or whatever. She walk out. The highest like, come sit next to me, Laura. She sits down next to the highest, looking straight ahead, not even looking at her husband. Aaron steady saying her name, like, Laura, Laura. She not replying, so the highest looks to Laura and was like, well, you can answer him. So Laura looks to Aaron and was like, yes. So Aaron was like, are you okay? And Laura was like, yes. She was like, I'm better than I ever was. So Aaron was like, what is it? But Aaron was like, Aaron asked the highest, he was like, what did you all do to her? So Laura was like, well, they healed me. She's like, you should let them heal you too. Aaron was like, no, they gave you drugs. It's like, we're getting out of here, Laura. Laura was like, no, I'm staying. I found paradise. And I was just like, at this point, like, if they gonna let you go, go, Aaron. I'm sorry. Because your wife was already, like, not believing you at first. And she in there, you eating the food, making it look... I mean, but they was on top of Laura. They was on top of Laura more than they was Aaron. Aaron was on his P's and Q's, and Laura just got caught up. So Laura was like, I found paradise. Aaron steadily calling Laura's name. I tell Aaron, like, you can go now. And Aaron was like, nah, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving without my wife. So he calls the guards in and tells them, he's like, this man wants to leave. And Aaron was like, no, I want to stay. He was like, I want to stay. The highest was like, well, which one is it? Do you want to leave or you want to stay? So Aaron yells, like, I want to stay. So the highest was like, well, I don't believe you. And tells the soldiers to grab him and take Aaron away. So Aaron steady pleading, calling Laura's name. So I'm wondering, is they really going to take him away? So then we get this final little short scene. Andrew, he driving away. He got the car. You know, he driving. He got the car. He got the bodies in the trunk. He gets a flat. I'm wondering if somebody put that there intentionally to get him caught up. I don't know. But he gets a flat, so he gets out, starts checking the trunk. Manager, the bodies are in the trunk. So he digging around the body, trying to, I guess, find a spare or find something. And the deputy car pulls up behind him. And I think it's the female deputy. And remember, she said that the female FBI agent said, you my new best friend. So they didn't show the passenger seat. So I'm wondering if the FBI woman is with her. But if she not, that's going to be bad writing, bruh. Because she should be with her. She said she's going to be with her 24/7. I mean, I know she told Cal and Sheriff to be together 24/7. But she told this female deputy she was going to be like her best friend. So she better be in that passenger seat on the next episode. But like I said, I would grade this episode A-. Yeah, because the highest he was moving around. And I like that. I was like, okay. And the FBI, they finally like moving in. They kind of getting close. I mean, not getting closer, but they done finally moved in the sheriff station. Took over the sheriff station instead of just sending one nigga in there. So I was like, okay with that. So yeah, like predictions, like I said, like what if they do let Aaron go and he end up going to the sheriff station and they thinking since we got the sheriff in our back pocket, we just gonna call him, tell him, hold Aaron there. We gonna pick him back up, kill him. But whole time the sheriff station overrun with feds and they don't know it. And Aaron end up getting there and being protected by the feds. That's one thing that could happen. And then I'm wondering, is the female FBI agent in the passenger seat with the deputy that just pulled up to Andrew? Because if she is, then that means she gonna know who Andrew is because Andrew is an FBI agent too. And it's wild because they talking about Brian, but they ain't saying nothing about Andrew. They keep talking about we got a man in there. They talking about Brian and stuff, but they ain't saying nothing about Andrew. So I'm wondering. But they did mention him on the premiere. They did say we had two in there, and one they think is compromised. So they was talking about Andrew. So I wonder how this gonna go when they pull over Andrew. I'm hoping she in that passenger seat. She better be. Because if she not, that's gonna blow me. Because you talking about y'all gonna be best friends, but you ain't even with her when she finally pull over somebody. And I wonder if they gonna have. Well, you know, like I said, this is a Tyler Perry show, so you know that they not gonna open that trunk. Andrew gonna find a way to get out of opening that trunk. So we already know that ain't gonna be nothing. They trying to make it suspenseful, like he gonna have to open the trunk and get locked up. It ain't gonna happen. But what else do I predict? Yeah, like I said, that whole Marion thing with the scrawny dudes and the big dude, that's a whole nother thing. I don't know how that's gonna play out. That's gonna be crazy. And I wonder if the highest gonna really give well, I wonder what Manny gonna do. Is he gonna take the Enlightenment? And if he does, I wonder if the highest gonna let him get Zane. Zane gonna lose her mind. A lot of stuff happening now, though. I wonder what's going to happen. Well, I was about to say I wonder what's going to happen when Laura come down off her high. But you know they're going to keep her ass high up. They're going to keep her high through all the stuff she eating, drinking. They're going to keep her up there to not even think about it. But I don't think they're going to let Aaron go. I think it's too risky. I think they're going to kill Aaron. Poor Aaron. But yeah, those are my predictions for episodes to come. Thanks for watching this video. Yeah. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And comment below what you thought of the episode, what you thought about what I talked about, if I forgot to say anything, if I was off on anything, and just how you felt, what you would grade the episode, all that good stuff. Yeah, if you want to, hit that share button, hit the notification bell. That way you will get a alert the moment I post something. That's if you want to, but the like and subscribe is what really was the bread and butter. Yeah, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.